What's going on, Seminole Faithful? It's your boy. You know who I am, so you know why we're here, and we live in every goddamn day like it's Friday. We're finna go over Telvin Smith. What the hell's going on with you? Cam Akers and a couple other Seminoles find homes in the NFL, and a certain prospect gets a bump up in the rankings and earns his 4th star, and we got a little bit more we want to get into as well. So stay tuned with your boy, the Polk County Nole. Alright, so with all intros out the way, let's get right and dive right into all the things that I want to address today and keep y'all updated in case you're not tracking on what's been going on in the world of Florida State and the FSU Seminoles. Alright, so we're going to start off with the negative because I want to finish on some positive. Big news revolving Florida State / former Florida State players. National champion, all-pro linebacker, plays for the Jacksonville Jaguars, took a year off last year, but he's still officially on that roster. Telvin Smith was arrested after a month-long investigation and charged with unlawful sexual activity with a minor. I read the report. You can go read it yourself. Or I read an article. I won't say it's the actual report, but I read an article on FoxNews.com. There's some damning things in there as far as Telvin Smith goes, such as paying to keep the victim quiet. Told her to lie to people and say that he was serving as her mentor. Wow, they were obviously doing other things. She apparently has more voicemails of him calling her. And she had his personal number, so a lot of things aren't looking too good for your boy Telvin. When I initially heard about it, I came into it like I come into all situations, right? And I'm like, okay, well, maybe he didn't know this girl was a minor. I mean, we've all kind of been there before where you see a girl and you think she's older than what she is. So maybe he fell in that situation where he thought, he was dealing with the girl who was older and she didn't tell the truth. But according to everything I read, he knew. Again, he was invested. It wasn't like some quick thing. It was like investigated for over a month. And unfortunate to have to talk about stuff like this, But I think it was worth noting and putting it out there. Telvin Smith is doing boneheaded things, and the man's 28 or 29 years old, and I mean, I don't understand how an NFL player can't find a 25. Like, you could have found, an of age woman to do your thing with. So, he'll get, I don't want to get too deep into it, but he'll have to, serve his day in court or whatever the case may be, and hopefully the victim comes out okay. And hey, bad situation for Telvin Smith. It just makes it look bad. So something I want to get off my chest. But we're gonna stay in the NFL for the time being. We're gonna talk about that boy Jameis Winston. Now, Jameis Winston, no longer a Tampa Bay Buccaneer, which I think everybody pretty much saw coming after they got Tom Brady and company. He signs a 1-year deal with the New Orleans Saints, $1.1 million deal for 1 year, with a chance to make, I think, upwards of like $3.4 million with incentives. This is ridiculous in my opinion. Now, I'll get into the good parts of this. But let me point out. So let me say some names of some players who are currently making more money than a guy that, granted, had his turnover problems, but he also threw for over 5,000 yards and 30 plus touchdowns. And these names are making more money than Jameis Winston: Jeff Driscoll, Chad Henne, Matt Barkley, Deshaun Kaiser, and Matt Schaub. Those those quarterbacks, and there's more. I just took a handful of them. There was about 10, 20 deep of quarterbacks making more money than Jameis Winston, when Jameis Winston has accomplished twice as much as most of these guys that I just named, if not all of them. So the salary, it tells me that Jameis took, what was going to happen to Jameis is what I thought was going to happen to Jameis. Jameis was not going to be in the NFL. I think teams have made their mind up on Mr. Winston, and they, I don't know if they, very similar to Cam Newton. Like, I would not be surprised if you don't see Cam Newton on the roster. I think teams don't want to invest the money that Cam might demand, and he's damaged goods. Where Jameis, I think teams might not want to deal with the things that come with him or the perception that's around him. Positive is it's great to see him go sit behind a guy like Drew Brees. Drew Brees 40 plus years old. Jameis Winston is going to have opportunity to play for the Saints. Guarantee that. There's no way Drew Brees is going to play an entire season if we have a season, obviously. It's obvious the Saints see Tyson Hill as more of a weapon and a utility player than an actual backup quarterback. So that's a good opportunity to play for a guy, to learn from a guy like Drew Brees. He'll have a great offensive mind behind Sean Payton. Now, Bruce Arians was a good offensive mind. I just don't. A lot of guys, like, you got to go look up the stats, and I didn't have them written down here. But a lot of guys in their first year under Arians had their highest turnovers under Arians. So, for whatever that's worth, go behind Sean Payton, go behind Drew Brees. I think Jameis Winston has a chance to resurrect his career in New Orleans. I think it's a good move. I'm happy for him. I'm not happy with the money he's getting paid. That's ridiculous. But again, it could be a situation where you take less money here, maybe you make more money in the long haul. Not enamored. I mean, that's a great money move for the Saints, but I don't see how. Apparently, he turned down other lucrative offers, what they call lucrative offers. I would have loved to see some of these other offers, but apparently he turned down other offers because he wanted to play for the Saints. Maybe he wants to get back at the Bucs. Obviously, he wants to play. He said it himself. Drew Brees has always treated him well, so he wants to play behind a guy like Drew Brees. So, yeah, I'm rooting for you, Jameis. Always. You're the only reason why I was rooting for the Bucs in the first place. So, I'm with you, Jameis. We're going to stay in the NFL. We're going to keep this NFL train rolling, baby. Cam Akers went 52 overall in the second round to the Los Angeles Rams. Hey, I think the Rams got I think that was a great pickup. Obviously, they let Todd Gurley go back to Georgia. He's a Falcon. Cam Akers is going to come into a situation where he's going to be looked at as the guy. He's going to finally have some type of competent offense and a competent line to work. I think you're going to see. I think Cam Akers has a great shot to. I mean, he got drafted in the second round. A lot of people didn't even think he was going in the second round. I said from the jump, Cam Akers is as good of a running back as any of those running backs in the draft, period. Nothing separated the top 3-4 guys, in my opinion. So Cam goes in the second round. He's going to a good situation, in my opinion, in LA. Taking over for a guy like Gurley. He's joining Jalen Ramsey, another Nole out there in LA. Derwin James is out there in LA, obviously for another team. But so we got the West Side Nole Connection still going on strong over there in Los Angeles, baby. Speaking of the West Side Nole Connection, Levante Taylor, he signs as a drafted free agent to the Rams. I would be very interested to see if maybe he can make that roster. Good for him. This was a guy that was a number one corner coming out of high school. His problem is he's undersized, and I'm not sure he's as fast as people say he is. A lot of people were disappointed that there wasn't a pro day. A lot of people expected him to get a real opportunity at that pro day to shine, and he didn't get that chance, obviously, with the pandemic and all that. But Levante Taylor's going to LA, West Side Connection. He's gonna have he's going to try to make the Rams roster, and good luck to him. I hope he does. Stanford Samuels, the guy that he was the only other Seminole to get a combine invite, and I told you he would not get drafted, and he signs with the Packers as an undrafted free agent. I wish him all the best. I've been saying it before. I'm just not so sure I'm not sure Stanford Samuels is an NFL quality player. But he'll have an opportunity to play out there with the Packers, and maybe he'll turn some heads. Maybe actually being out there in the pro system. Maybe I'll move him to safety or something. Maybe they can utilize him in a certain way. So let's keep that West Side connection going. Ryan Roberts and Freddie Stevenson. Now, Freddie Stevenson was interesting to me. He obviously didn't play last season, but he joined the Chargers as undrafted free agents. Freddie Stevenson, I don't think even played last year, did he? No, we got Gabe Neighbors as the fullback. So Freddie Stevenson, but he's getting that a chance with the Chargers. They're going to join Derwin over there. So we got plenty of West Side Nole Connection going on. So you love to see that. I think Roberts has a shot to make the roster. I mean, he's an offensive lineman. You can argue that you can never have too many offensive linemen on a roster. I'm not sure about Freddie Stevenson. I mean, the fullback isn't even used, so good luck to Freddie. And so two guys that don't have a home, didn't receive any kind of offers or weren't drafted. Dontavius Jackson, not surprised. I wish him the best. Football career may be over. Not trying to hate on the man, just not surprised. And Mr. Alex Hornibrook, not surprised there either. So that is everything as far as the pro Seminoles going. Now we got some recruiting news to go over. Mr. Luke the Duke Altmaier. Remember, FSU signed him a couple months ago. I covered it. I got a video on it. 3-star prospect. Everybody was saying, he's a 3-star now, but they seen him play. That kid's going to be a 4-star before it's all said and done. Well, he's already a 4-star. Luke Altmaier earns his 4th star. This is all according to ESPN. He earned his 4th star and is one of the top 120 player, or 117 to be exact, top 120 prospects nationwide. And this is all according to ESPN. Now, I checked out the 247 composite. 247 hasn't updated anything since February. So 247 doesn't reflect what ESPN has just released. But that's good for Luke Altmaier. That's a good look for Norvell and crew. And that brings me into what I really consider the topic of the day. And I'm looking at some of the things I'm seeing, and Seminole Nation they're questioning a lot. And a guy like Jeremy Pruitt, he's recruiting his ass over there in Tennessee. And people are like, how can Jeremy Pruitt, even though Tennessee sucks, how can he still recruit? Well, here's how a guy like Jeremy Pruitt can continue to recruit, despite not necessarily winning as many games as some of these other programs. Because kids, parents, prospects, they go to Tennessee, and though on the field hasn't Tennessee, first of all, he turned it over by the end of that season for Tennessee on the field. But even so, even though they have struggled, you see a plan, right? Kids see a coach with a plan, with a message in place that they can look at, relate to, and say, that's going to get us where we want to get. I can just be the player to make the difference. You know why Florida State, why we only have one player drafted, which is embarrassing, but we only have one player drafted. And we ain't recruiting at the clip that we're used to, because for the last 2 years, last 3. Now, last year, Jimbo, there was no plan, and we're not even going to go into Taggart era. But for 3 years, nobody saw anything to look at and be like, oh, they got a plan in place. They're organized. No. So now Norvell is basically building from scratch. The recruits he's getting is strictly off of relationships. I think once kids see the on-field progress, the recruiting will pick up like that. if we have on-field progress. But we have to have that on-field progress, and kids have to see some tangible, results. And we haven't seen that in 3 years. You could argue it's the worst 3-year stretch, and maybe in the recent history of the modern history of the program. So yeah, that's guys like Jeremy Pruitt, they're killing it out there. Florida State, I think there's a couple key kids that Florida State's in the mix for that, they want to see on-field progress. So that's where we got to get with that. We got to see the on-field progress. I really hope there's a season, not only for my own selfish reasons, but for guys like Marvin Wilson, who could have went to the NFL, right? Marvin Wilson would have been there's a video circulating right now on Twitter, and you probably find it on YouTube, whatever, of Louisville's offensive tackle. That was, oh my God, guy was 6'7", 6'8", 360, and ran like a 5-flat monster beast of a prospect. And Marvin Wilson's ragdolling this dude, and this dude's 365 pounds, and Marvin Wilson's just. Marvin Wilson's gonna be the top defensive tackle off of the board next year. I really hope he gets a chance to show his stuff in a college football season. But yep. So Luke Altmaier, the recruiting. It's we just gotta get on the field progress, something tangible for these kids to see. But that's really all I got, man, for all the news and notes. So I'm gonna put this out here now. Be on the lookout. I got some new stuff that I'm going to drop. I'm just waiting on my package to get here so I can begin to create. If you're familiar with NCAA 14, so I've been putting in a lot of work. I cranked the old PS3 back up, and I've been putting in a lot of work. I built the roster. I got Mike Norvell. I got Dillingham. I got Adam Fuller as my coaching staff. I got Chubba Purdy on the roster. I got the current Florida State roster. Offensive line looks bad. I built it all myself. I tried to be as fair as I could be with the ratings. So, Marvin Wilson's obviously the best player on the team. I think he's like a 90-something. But that's probably the only 90 player on the entire team. I think Hampson Erzeldine's kind of up there. Point being, I tried to be as fair as possible. So I got the roster. I got the coaching staff. I've even been building recruits. We're going to take Mike Norvell's Florida State 2020 Seminoles, and we're going to see how well we can do on Heisman difficulty in Dynasty. We're going to recruit. And we're going to try to build Florida State back to prominence. That's what I want to do. That's the content I want to put out there. Something I like to do, something I enjoy. Hopefully you guys can enjoy it too. If you don't, don't watch it. If you do, by all means, man, please tune in and support that. With the lack of information and just the lack of things that's going on, you see I don't release as much as I used to because there's just not enough information. There's not enough content out there to make content about. So this is my idea of giving y'all something. And y'all get on here, man. I'm probably going to live stream them. And while I'm playing, we can talk about more Florida State stuff while I'm playing. And then y'all going to see Chubba Purdy. I'm debating if I'm going to start Chubba, if I'm going to go with Jordan Travis. I got James Blackman. I got all the running backs. You'll see. I'm going to show you guys the roster. I'm going to show you guys everything. We're going to do that. Mike Norvell's 2020 Noles on NCAA 14 is coming. So please be on the lookout for that. But, hey, that's all I got for you guys today. Like I always tell you, stay classy, Seminoles. Stay safe. Protect yourself. Stay home or don't stay home. At this point, I feel like you take that risk, but just stay safe and protect yourself regardless of what you choose to do. Hey, thanks for tuning in. Again, be on the lookout for that NCAA 14 content. It's coming. Soon as I get my video card in, it's coming, baby. I'm out. Stay classy.